What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming, and it is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Now today we'll be taking a look at a series between Jimpo and Adel. Hey, I really like how I said commentary. Commentary, that's pretty cool. Alright, so yes, Adel versus Jimpo. We're in the map Shattered Temple. Down here in the 6 o'clock spawn location, we have got Adel, who is going to be our orange Protoss player, up over here in the 12 o'clock Jimpo as the pink Terran player. So yes, Terran versus Protoss, Jimpo versus Adel, starting on the map Shattered Temple. Now, first and foremost, we are going to notice they are spawning in cross-positional locations. Again, that's going to be pretty much the furthest possible distance to spawn from one another on this particular map. Wow, that was super shaky. Really didn't have much of a choice there, though. Jimpo will be starting off with a wall off as he drops his supply depot at the front of his ramp. And let me think here while we're in the early stage of the game. Do I have anything exciting going on? I don't know. The force feed's been going good. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I'm sure many of you who happen to be watching this initially came to my channel for StarCraft. And I'm sure you'll have noticed over time that things have evolved and changed a little bit. I am still obviously focused on StarCraft, trying to make sure that we are coming out with a best-of-3 match about once a day, 5 days a week. That's what that's typically what I'm aiming for. You know, sometimes it ends up being 2 games, sometimes it's a full 3, but really I feel like that's quite a bit. You look at a lot of other even channels solely dedicated to StarCraft, and they're not even pumping out anywhere near that volume of content on a weekly basis. So I think that that's pretty sufficient in terms of StarCraft commentaries. But anyways, the point is that besides StarCraft, the channel has evolved, and you know, we're doing the daily gaming news and the force feed and all sorts of other gaming commentary. And hopefully that hasn't deterred too many of you guys, and you've still been enjoying the channel. Again, I'm trying my best to make sure that I'm staying true to my roots, but also keeping things new, fresh, and exciting. Now, speaking of new, fresh, and exciting, we're seeing none of those things here from either player. Everything looking very, very standard. 10 depot, 12 racks, and 13 refinery here from Jimpo. You're going to see that second supply depot go down here. It looks like, yes, it is, in fact. One notable thing here for Adel is you're going to notice this kind of wall formation that he's making over here. This is specifically to help him deal with any type of Hellion harass that he may be seeing from Jimpo. Obviously, far too early to tell if anything like that will be taking place, but this type of wall off will let you deal with Hellion harass much easier. Simply because it allows you to funnel. The Hellions can only go one way. They cannot push down here, so it gives you much more control over where the Hellions are moving. And ooh, look at this. Oh, are you serious? I have never seen a Zealot in the early stage of the game kill an SCV. That is the first time. Jimpo with a huge miss micro. Why has that never happened? Because SCV's a million times faster than a Zealot is and has no reason to die to it. That was just Jimpo really not paying attention. Now taking a look back over here, we can see Reactor coming down on the racks, Factory making its way through, Bunker, very notable of course. This is to defend him from any possible early game aggression as he works his way up, as you can see, going Racks Factory. Would not be surprised if we saw a Starport as well, especially given the fact he's got no second Vespene Geyser. He should be pumping out Hellions here, so we may very well see a Starport, possibly even going up to a Medevac. Something to consider. Back over here for Adel. He does have his Stalker in play, as well as that first Zealot. Zealot's making its way back home. He does also decide to come out with a Nexus here, so it will be a 1-gate expand that we're seeing for an opening here from Adel. Second assimilator finally getting placed down for Adel, and right now in the early game, he'll just be relying out of 1 gateway's worth of units for some defense, but I don't expect any aggression anytime very soon here from Jimpo, as he is in fact going with that 1-1-1 build, going Racks Factory into Starport, pumping out those double Hellions, and again, as you can see, probably going to expect a Medevac here from that Starport. It's really the most logical thing that we're going to be seeing from him based on this opener. So the Bunker, you know, effectively does prevent any early game pressure or scouting from your opponent, but again, as we can see, Adel not planning on doing that at all, as he has gone for that 1-gate into expand. Also working back these destructible rocks to prepare to move into an additional expansion. This can also help him deal with any more harass a little bit more effectively. And taking a look at the production tab, we can see a Medevac is in fact coming out for Jimpo. And very interesting here, Adel, after going 1-gate expand, you're deciding to go straight into a Forge and the level 1 armor upgrades. That's an interesting choice. A lot of times what you'll see is if you see a 1-gate expand, you will then either see a Robo and then 2 more gateways, or 2 more gateways and a Robo. That's kind of the standard follow-up. But instead, Adel going for a gateway into Forge for those quick level 1 upgrades. A second gateway now here as well. Well, that will actually be his 3rd gateway. And still no Robo, so he is not going to have any cloak detection But more importantly, he's not going to get any scouting done. We take a look at Adel's vision. He's really doesn't have the faintest idea as to what he's up against, other than the fact that he saw a bunker constructing at the front. And here comes a drop right now. The medevac in play has loaded up 4 Hellions. We also have 4 Hellions out front over here for Jimpo, and he's going to be making his way down for a drop. Now, what do we have for defense over here? We got some units. It looks like we do have a cannon coming in as well, back there in the resource line. But here comes the drop right now, going straight back here and not doing too much damage as Adel responds very, very quickly. We got these Hellions out front here as well. Medevac lifting up those few Hellions over there, and ooh, there we go, roasting some of the workers over there. Very nice by Jimpo. Now the drop over here doesn't appear to be doing too much damage, as we do have that cannon plus those stalkers, but the Hellions over here did manage to do quite a bit of damage, killing off actually a total of 9 workers. Very, very nice there, Jimpo. Managed to do a little bit of damage with that. That's actually pretty impressive there. Now, he does still have the medevac. That's actually tucked away back here, very close to losing its life with only 8 HP left. We'll be hightailing it back on home right now. You can see that route. He's going to be going straight home with that. Actually, no, we're chilling over there. Probably going straight home after that, though. Let's take a look at what else we got going on here. Level 1 armor upgrades now finished for Adel. He'll be working his way up into level 1 weapons upgrade. Hellions now with control of the center of the map. Jimpo is preparing his transition as he comes out with 2 additional barracks and has that expansion coming on through as well. And there we go, Hellions dropping down with that medevac, heading back home. Hellions at the center of the map also heading back home. Just the one lone Hellion here at the center, maintaining control of that Zelnaga tower. And Adel did manage to take a fair amount of damage there, so pretty impressive play by Jimpo, I would have to say. But do take a look at this. 2 more gateways coming out, a Twilight Council coming out as well for Adel. I'm still concerned, though, that there is still no Robo, so he, again, is just without vision, doesn't have the foggiest idea as to what he's up against. A little perplexed by this build, to be quite frank with you. We'll have to see what he decides to do with this Twilight Council. If he's going to go straight for charge lots or possibly blink stalkers, or maybe even work his way on up to higher tech like a Dark Shrine or anything like that. Possibly even, of course, going for those Templar archives. Now, what is Jimpo doing? Well, we've got that blue flame research coming out here for his Hellions. He'll be pumping out that bio as he does have 4 racks now up and running. Stim pack and combat shield finished. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Combat shield just started right now. Hasn't worked in concussive shells yet. Would really like to see that for him, especially with 3 tech labs. Probably going to expect some Marauder heavy. Ooh, no, churning out all Marines here right now, at least for the moment. And again, those Hellions continue to come out of there. No more medevacs coming out of the starport yet. Would like to see possibly even 1 or 2 more. Taking a look at the minimap, we can see right now Adel is pushing out across the map. Now, we did have a proxy pylon dropped over here by Adel. It looks like the Hellions did manage to take out the probe that dropped it, but the pylon is still going to finish through as those Hellions just do not have the firepower to actually be able to take it out. And right now, Adel preparing to be aggressive. He has got those 1-1 upgrades. Very important to note that. He's coming out with the High Templar, so the Templar archives are, in fact, what were dropped from that Twilight Council. No other research coming out, and most importantly, no Storm research coming on through. Combat shield, again, very close to finish, as well as those concussive shells here for Jimpo. And Jimpo's in a very nice formation here, trying to maintain a strong concave, just in case his push decides to move in right now. But Adel does have that 1-1 upgrade, but nothing else. No charge, no blink, and no storm. Very interesting to me. He's actually coming out right now with a 3rd base, so I'm assuming what he's trying to do is maintain a little bit of a contain here. But, you know, no R. There we go. Storm research finally coming on through. Going to be actually chrono boosting that on in. And let's take a look at Jimpo right now. Jimpo's doesn't want to be stuck in here for too very long. That is most certainly the case. And it looks like he's preparing to push forward right now. And here it comes, Bio moving forward, stimming up there. And Adel just sitting with his Zealots doing nothing. What is Adel doing? Finally reacting. He has just lost a ton of stuff and did nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, there's no drops or anything going on here from Jimpo. I do not know what Adel was distracted by, but he just lost a lot, and he is severely behind right now as the bio pushed out, stemmed up right on top of Adel's army, and was just able to tear through him. And that was actually really, really unbelievable. Now we got some more bio stemmed up, continue to make their way across the map. This is looking very scary for Adel right now as Jimpo with the stim bio plus a few medevacs and those blue flame Hellions. There it is, the GG. Wow, Adel. Jimpo opened up this game with a drop, moving Hellions back into the natural expansion, Now he was forced to lift this up pretty immediately before he was able to do much damage, as a lot of the units here of Adel were able to respond quickly. He immediately lifted up those Hellions, moved into the main, which forced Adel's units to move into the main to defend against it, and then geniusly, Jimpo moved up with another group of Hellions, hitting all of those idle workers, and was able to get quite a few kills. Now the drop in the main didn't do too much damage, but he was able to get a few shots off with those Hellions at the natural. At around the 11-minute mark, Adel then moved out with his 1-1 upgrades. He also had access to High Templar. Unfortunately, his Psionic Storm wasn't researched, so he sit idly outside of his opponent's base and waited for that Psionic Storm. With Combat Shield, Stim Pack, Concussive Shell, and Blue Flame Hellions, we saw Jimpo move out. Unfortunately, Adel was very slow to respond, ended up losing a bulk of his forces. Jimpo then moved out, continuing the attack towards Adel's natural expansion, and made for that quick GG. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here between Adel and Jimpo. Unfortunately, Adel taking some econ loss, and then that huge misstep there while he was sitting his army out front of Jimpo's base and just not paying attention when Jimpo moved forward for the attack really cost him to lose the game. And again, that was game number 1. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.